It's for all the dreamers out there.
You're gonna be great. You're gonna be great.
Welcome to the Coaching for Change podcast. As co-founders of Coaching for Change, Marquise and I have been working with college-age young adults for the last 12 plus years. There is a wealth of knowledge and experience within each of their stories that they prove time after time that they have what it takes to succeed and to lift the world around them. And this podcast is our opportunity to help share those stories with you, to relate, to learn, and to motivate.
And Coaching for Change is a nonprofit focused on recruiting, training, and placing college students in schools to serve as tutors, role models, and mentors to younger students. Really looking forward to hearing our college student stories. As we work with more and more with college students, we're learning how amazing they are, how they've overcome so many challenges to get where they are, and love hearing about what they want to do next. So let's dive in.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to start? Introduce yourself.
We go right to left. Right to left.
Oh, yeah, Mark, what's up?
Okay. I'm Marc Lusaint. I'm from Weymouth, and I'm a business major, class of 2026. I go to UMass Boston.
Hi, my name is Charlene Adames Pimentel, but you could just call me Charlie. I'm from Boston, and currently I'm undecided and don't know when I'll be graduating, but hopefully 2025. I'm at UMass Boston for now.
My name is Jaden DeSola. I'm from Boston. Currently live in Somerville, Massachusetts. My major is undecided right now, but I'm thinking of going to the psychology field. My year is hopefully going to be on time, so I'm guessing 2025. And I go to the Southern New Hampshire University duet program online.
Sorry. Hi, my name is Jason. My hometown is Boston. My major is criminal justice. The school that I go to is Curry College, and the year that I'm expected to graduate is this year, actually, in May 2024.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
And I'm Pete Berman. I'm the co-founder and chief operating officer at Coaching for Change.
And I am Marquise Taylor, co-founder and CEO of Coaching for Change.
Jason got to point out right in the beginning, coming in laughing, and then as soon as we start rolling, we got the serious voice going on.
Great energy.
Yeah.
Great energy, man.
That's good. I love it. I love it. We can. I hope that.
Room.
I hope that bleeds into this episode.
Yeah.
Let's just have some fun with this.
We
Absolutely.
for sure will.
So yeah, I mean, starting off. Shout out to Fall River Public Schools. We are in Fall River, Massachusetts right now at the Spencer Borden Elementary School in this beautiful classroom. Want to start by just like hearing a little bit about your backgrounds and growing up as elementary and middle school students. What was that experience like for you? And yeah, what stands out when you think back there?
I'll go first. To be honest, like both my parents, like they migrated from. I'm Cape Verdean, so they migrated from Cape Verde. They came here. They never had like the easiest life, I guess. Like my dad, he's a pretty smart guy. Got a head on his shoulders. Throughout his life, he worked really hard to put himself in the position he is now. But like he never had it easy. You know, nobody has it easy, especially migrating from a different country. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Him being with my mom, like it all started out in Boston. My mom also migrated here, but she was able to help him get here because she came here first. But in Boston, I was born and raised in Boston for like 5 years. Then I moved to Brockton, raised in Brockton for like most of my life. Then like after I graduated high school, moved back to Boston just to go back to college. So like. But it was never easy, you know. There was definitely points like my mom was like on food stamps, this and that, like, and my dad like couldn't afford to get me certain stuff. Like I never had the best clothes in school. Like it wasn't easy. But you know, like I'm really grateful for them and like in the position that I am now because they work really hard and I'm not like in the worst position that it could be worse. I could be like anywhere else or this and that. Like, but I'm grateful for the position that they put me in right now. So like, and I'm really happy for where they are too, because it's not easy. It's not easy at all. So, yeah.
Yeah, my name is Jaden. What was the question again? I'm sorry.
What was like elementary school and middle school like for you? Just kind of being in here, reflecting back on those days.
Yeah, so this is when I lived in Boston. I lived in Boston until I was about 14. So I say when I was going to seventh grade, I moved to Somerville. Can't really gauge the years in my head right now. Been around for 20 years now. I feel old.
Oh my goodness.
But,
ancient.
but yeah, so I've been in charter schools my whole life, like from kindergarten 2 to me graduating high school. And I didn't really, and now that I look back at it, I didn't really enjoy I went to the Edward Brooke charter school in Rosendale. And like when I look back at the rules I had to deal with, like it was very extreme. Like I had to make sure my shoes were all black, my socks, or it was all white shoes or all black shoes. You had to have solid black socks or solid white socks. You had to have the khakis. You had to have the shirt. If you had the little hoodie when it was a little cold outside, it had to have the logo on. It couldn't just be navy blue. Like you couldn't have just a plain navy blue polo shirt. Like it had to have the school logo. There was things like that. When you walked in the hallway, it had to be silent. If you talked in line, you'd get a detention. Like it was just things like that. And I'm like, I don't know how I made it through 7 years in that school. Like,
I can't lie. I don't know how I would be able to. I've never been to a uniform school. I don't know how people do it, to be honest.
Although then you show up in quite the uniform today. I mean, feels like it had some kind of impact on you, no?
Yeah. I mean, I have to go to work after this, and I didn't want to put the whole suit on
Gotcha,
afterwards.
got it.
I just saved myself the trouble.
Nice.
And did that instead. I really think in middle school, I really just did my work and just try to just have fun at the end of the day. Like, when it came to doing schoolwork, I was real serious about it. But like recess, I'm busting jokes. Lunch, I'm busting jokes. Like, that's just how I was. And I feel like I was just really just happy to be around other people. Yeah. So my last year in middle school, I went to Prospect Hill Academy in Cambridge, Mass. And it was definitely a change from me having to go to a school that's very strict to a charter school being more lenient. You could talk in the hallways. You could wear whatever shoes you want. Socks don't matter. Every last Friday of the month, you could wear non-dress code, things like that. So when I went to that school, it really took me being kind to people into a whole nother level. And then it was weird because I don't even see myself as a mean person. I mean things like that, but people just they would just be kind of mean, honestly. And I was real confused about it. And I think once I got towards 11th grade, 12th grade, people just matured and realized that I was never really giving any bad intentions and things, so they really opened up. But yeah, my first year at Prospect Hill Academy was a little rough. Not gonna lie, it was hard to find people that I really could fit with, really talk to, and it's funny because now the people that I was really cool with and nice to, and they were nice to me back in 8th grade. Those are those are my brothers now. Those are guys I talk to this day. Everybody here could tell you I talk about them all the time. I live with them. I'm about to go see one of them later today to go play basketball. It's I really think building relationships when you're younger can definitely lead to you having better relationships in the future. So
Definitely.
Awesome.
Nice. Charlie, how about you?
I honestly have a similar background to Jaden and Jason. For elementary, I went to the Harvard Kent in Charlestown. And then after that, I went to Up Academy in South Boston. And then I went to Boston Latin Academy in the Dorchester, Roxbury area. So I've always been in the city, born and raised. One thing that I do take away, though, from my school experiences is I feel like I've always struggled figuring out like what was my like worth, like was my worth going into my ability to achieve A's, or was it my ability to like, you know, communicate with others? Like, so it was really like that battle. And, you know, when you progress from elementary into like middle school, like people are on the, you know, hormones and they going through puberty and shit. So it's like communicating can be really difficult at that age. That's where drama starts. I do remember at that age, like having a lot of conflict. I mean, especially where you're in the city, you're growing up with kids that have strong personalities, like constantly going through conflict throughout their day. Like, it's only 8 a.m. and niggas are having a bad day. So it's like, bro, it's definitely a lot, bro. Like, I remember academically, I did struggle, but I think outside of that, I was so much more academically. And that's really like where my background is. Relating back to Jason, my mom, she immigrated here alone, and she raised all of her kids, 4 of them, including me, really by herself, and I owe her the world. So I'm Dominican American, part of the first generation, and we're the first ones like here in Boston doing our thing. So it's a big deal. Like, even though I'm still struggling, like trying to get this degree. So almost done.
Yeah, first generation. First generation squad over here.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that's awesome. Yeah, it's never easy.
No,
Yeah,
not at all.
it builds character and builds your muscle, because as you get older, it's gonna get you through.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My name is Marc. Middle school and elementary school was it was all right for me. You know, I live in Weymouth, a predominantly white town, so being only one of the black kids like at my school was a little tough at times, because you know everyone's like, you're different from everybody else. They might not get you how your own people would. So you know, just growing up like that, like you get used to it after a little bit, but you can see like there's struggles from time to time, but you get through it and you fight through it. Like my mom and dad, they always told me like, just be nice to people, and just if you're nice to people, like you'll get it right back. And what is it called? Don't start no fights. Just always be calm and just be patient, because you don't want to start anything, because it's gonna come back on you because of the way I look and compared to what other people look at my school. So yeah, similar to Charlie and Jason, my mom and dad, they immigrated here from Haiti, and they just started a new life with me and my 2 younger brothers. But yeah, I'm just trying to be like the role model for those 2. So yeah, that's all.
That's awesome.
So like one major thing that I'm hearing right now is like immigrant families, right? And so the
Well, I'm just African American. My
Yeah.
family's from. It's funny. My dad's side is predominantly from like South Carolina and Mississippi, and then my mom's side is from like North Carolina and like Maryland. So
Okay. It's also funny to me because like being from LA, I'm like you, I'm just black, right? But coming out here, everyone's like Haitian or Cape Verde. What are you? I don't know. I'm from Tennessee.
I bet you
Right?
go to LA right now and you ask somebody what a Cape Verde is. What?
Yeah.
Never heard of that before.
Yeah. So like, so I know in the Northeast it's major, right? Like that pride. But then going to school, where, like, how was that, right? Like transitioning from immigrant, passionate households to being in, I won't make it lead, but then like transitioning to school, right? Like what was that like for you guys?
One thing that would piss me off is they'll throw me straight into ESL thinking I wouldn't know how to speak English.
God.
Every time. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if I wasn't smart enough and I wouldn't pass the English test or whatever annual test they had every year, but they would throw me right into that class just because I don't know if my mom made a mistake on the papers or something and said like, oh, my primary language is Cape Verdean or this and that. But I spoke perfect English. I was so tired of those classes. Like every day you would take that test and I'll be like, oh, what is this? How do you pronounce this? How do you say that? Like, it's just like, I got sick and tired of that test. And then finally, it didn't stop. Like, and it's just like, it went all the way to like high school. Like, I guess I wasn't the brightest kid growing up, but it's just like, you know, being through that class and being in that class and having to take it every year, especially in middle school. This one time I remember, like, you got to choose, like at East, you got to choose 2 electives. And I chose 2 electives, and like none of them were ESL. And guess what? When I found out about my electives, they ended up being ESL. And I was just like, God.
It was cooking you, bro.
So like, yeah, that was like one of the tough parts about it. But like, after a while, I finally got over it, and it's just like, again, transitioning it's very hard. It's very hard. But like, I made that transition, and I think I speak so much, like I speak English so fluently that like I'm trying not to like forget, like, Cape Verdean Creole, but that's just how fluent I speak English. I speak English like anybody who can speak English, even if they're Cape Verdean.
What about for you guys? Do you experience anything similar?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think mine was more like language related, like kind of adding on to last what Jason
Speak
said.
perfect English, right?
Bro, perfect English, but like I grew up speaking Spanish first, so I was very like I'm a fast-paced speaker, and translating that into English through elementary, I developed a really strong stutter, and it caused me to be extremely shy
me too.
and like just shut out. And it's harder too because when you come from a passionate household like that, there's competition. Like as soon as I walk through that door, I have to be the best in everything. I can't make a mistake, especially when like I'm in a room with like white counterparts. Like I have to do better. And so having that stutter really like hindered me for parts of my life because I was really strong in English as well, like perfect speaker. But when you can't speak for yourself, there's other people speaking for you. And that's already worse because when you're coming from an immigrant family, people are always just trying to act like they know more than you or like they know how to help you instead of taking their time and being patient with you to figure out how can I really support you. And so for me, it was really more communication wise. Like I really struggled with that. Now I'm clearly, I don't stutter. Like you
I
don't
was
really
gonna say
hear that.
you don't stutter at all. When did you transition? When did you lose that?
It was really quick. It was end of 5th grade.
Same thing with me.
Okay.
It took me a while to
Really?
lose
That's
that.
still young.
It took me a while.
Yeah, cause bro,
Still do it.
It's-
Still ended up doing it. Like not even too long ago. Like
yeah.
it just comes back. You never can escape your past at times.
Nah, it comes back. It's like a battlefield. I felt like I at such a young age, like it's not like I saw a coach to fix my stutter. Like I had to do
Gotcha.
that myself. I had to like sit behind and like really read slowly, speak slowly until I could build my pace up and be like, okay, like I'm speaking English, like I'm not, I'm stuttering.
Sorry.
As we talk to middle school students that have similar backgrounds as you guys, what advice do you guys have for them? And maybe not the advice, but like right now, like what are some of the biggest challenges you guys faced in middle school or high school? And how did you overcome them?
Honestly, like, I mean, this is like that's why I said to just begin with just real quick that's why I did want to take psychology going to college because I want to like mentor and counsel kids that are going through things and things like that because I mean we all have we're humans so we're gonna go
Everybody
through
goes
our
through
own
stuff.
crisis, our own conflicts, things like that. And if I could say one thing to middle schoolers and things like that, definitely just take advantage of it being middle school. Just have fun. Don't spend time like having drama about this girl or this boy and oh, this girl is acting mad weird to me. She's over here talking to Jacob in the middle of lunch, but I was just texting her last night saying we were gonna go grab pizza after school, this and that. Like, come on, bro. You got your 20s to deal with that. You got your late teens to deal with that.
Priorities.
When you're in middle school, like
priorities.
just have fun. And I feel like definitely like that was my priority in middle school, just to have fun, go out there and just socialize. Because I mean, once you get to high school, that's when things really do get serious, like school wise. You don't got enough time to just goof off with some other people that you might be cool with, because maybe their priorities in life aren't to get to college. Maybe they just want to get their high school degree, maybe go to Bunker Hill, get their associates, and they consider themselves done with school. Maybe people just want to go to high school and just get their high school degree and they're done. But Yeah, I definitely think it sounds cliche, but also be yourself. Like, don't try to conform to what other people want you to be. If you don't want to, it's crazy that I have to say this, but like nowadays, like you hear about all these like middle schoolers vaping and things like that. If you don't want to, if you don't want to vape, if you don't want to vape, don't vape. Like, don't just do it just because your friends want to. If you don't want to go to this, if you don't want to go to this party that you know, like there's gonna be people that are in the neighborhood having
wanna touch
beef
on
with
the
each
subject
other and things like that, don't go. I mean, my parents always said don't put yourself in situations that you don't want to be in.
Yes. Yes. That's
You definitely don't want to
100%
be
true.
too comfortable, but you
yourself-
don't want to be to the point where you're very uncomfortable. You want to find that midpoint to really grow as a person, but not to bring yourself down as a person. So if I could say those two things, just be yourself and really just enjoy middle school. Enjoy having friends. Enjoy the fact that you still might have a recess if that's what you have at your school.
Yeah.
Just enjoy those things. Cherish them.
You won't have them forever. That's 100% true. If you care about what people say about you and you care about what everybody thinks, I mean, at some point, I feel like everybody's an overthinker. People like to overthink, but it puts you in that position. Like, it makes you feel depressed, makes you want to not want to do anything. Like, I've been in that position, especially in high school and in middle school, antisocial club. I got it right there. Like, I never really used to talk to people, and definitely throughout points in my life, like I've had bullies. Like, I've had like people who try to bully me in school and all that. Those people aren't in my life anymore. Like, you can't keep this. You got to choose your friends the right way. I don't care if they're you don't be friends with them if they're like the hottest guy in school or like the hottest girl in school, or if they have like this much kind of popularity or this and that. Like, if they're gonna treat you some type of way, don't be friends with them. Don't let them have strings over you. Just stay away from them, because if you keep trying to be friends with them and they're not treating you right, then they're just gonna keep going at it. They're gonna get comfortable and they're gonna keep picking at you. Like, you can't let that happen. So in terms of like enjoying like middle school, enjoying high school, I know like it can be different for certain people, like certain families and stuff. Like, it was different for me. Like, I mean, my mom gave me a little bit more freedom than my dad did, for sure. But as long as you communicate with your parents and as long as you communicate and let them know where you're going, what you're doing, keep that trust, for sure. Don't ever lose it. Don't ever lose that trust, because parents, trust me, parents know. They know. they know. All right? You can tell them that you're going to the McDonald's down the street and they'll know you're at your best friend's house. All right? All right? They know. So don't lie to their face, like, because my mom would always give me that look. I tell her, Mom, I'm going to the gym. Yeah, the gym. the gym. Yeah. All the time. I'm like, Mom, I swear I'm going to the gym. I would have to take pictures and everything just to get that trust back. So, like, it's just have fun. Keep that trust with your parents. If they're strict, try to have conversations with them. Like, even though, like, it's hard, especially coming from, like, them coming from in my situation. I don't know if you'll go through the same thing, especially like depending on how they're raised. Our parents being like immigrants and stuff, like, they're raised differently, so you got to see where they're coming from. So it kind of has an effect on them, and they might try to put that on you, but just communicate with them. Communication is key, and it'll probably solve any issue that you might have. So, yeah.
So I'm actually going to piggyback on that. I'm going to go down to you, Mark, and ask, having an immigrant family, there's a competing culture, right? Like, your parents have this mindset. School has a different mindset. How hard was that for you to navigate? I'm making assumptions here. You have strict parents, right? And then you're going to school with a bunch of white folks that, like, I'm making assumptions here, have a lot more freedom, right? And then that's mixed in a school culture where you feel isolated and by yourself without a crew, right? Like, so can you speak to that? Like, right, changing, like, having all these competing spaces and like,
How'd you navigate?
yeah.
Yeah, just with my mom and dad, like I know you made like the assumption, but my mom and dad, they were like they've like cooled off the past couple of years just on school and on everything, cause like I wasn't like the best student in school like growing up. Like I used to just be like high C, like middle B section. But like growing up, like I just put more effort, and like they saw that I was putting more effort and like actually trying to like go to school and like do activities after school and like I don't know, just do better. And so like and with that my grades got higher. And so like they just be more lenient. And so like they would trust me enough to like if I wanted to go play at like basketball after school, they'd let me because they know like I'd be able to do my homework on time. And it's things like that. And with the whole competing thing, even being from like a predominantly white town, I've never actually like felt that I'm like competing like in school, because I maybe it's just my ego or like my confidence, but like I always feel like I'm number one at all times.
Nice.
And so like yeah, I always feel like I'm number one. And like so it was never like a competing thing. It was just more like I'm just isolated. But once like I'm moving throughout school, like especially when I got to high school, I see more people like me. And so you make friends, you make connections, and like even those people, like some of my black friends and like people of color I met in high school, I know them today, and like they're like my closest friends. And so yeah, I mean, not really like being on the most like competition factor. It's just that like once like my parents like saw that I was putting more effort in school, like they started to be like more lenient with me. So it was like not really too much competition, but like effort and like my grades and like just like focusing more on school and stuff.
Got it. Got it. Do you guys have anything that you guys want to like add to that, or like different experience?
I would like to add about the competition aspect. Going to an exam school for high school, I went to Boston Latin Academy. And if you went to BLA, you know it's kind of like, it's a population of everyone. It's not like BLS where it's just majority white. It's like, it's everyone and then the rest of the white kids that are there. And although like I was seeing people that looked like me, I was competing against people that looked like me. And it wasn't even just about white people no more. Like I was going into class and like I didn't even feel like I could ask for help. Like damn, like everyone just wants to be part of like the 1%, like within their grades. So when you start applying, because exam schools, like a lot of colleges look at them a lot more often, especially in Boston, instead of like public schools. So it's like if I'm coming from an exam school and I have an average A, but the girl next to me, she graduated A plus valedictorian. She's getting into 99% of her schools over me. I'm not getting in. So it's like the competition is real, and you can feel the hatred.
Definitely
Like
harder than others. Sure.
yeah, like the hatred is real though. Like within school, like I felt isolated all the time.
How would you get advisors or advocates or people you feel connected to at school, right? So if you feel like adults, so if you feel like you're alone, you feel like unsafe mentally, right? Not physically, but mentally, because people are saying things, or you just feel shy, you're out of place, things are happening. How would you advise or talk to your younger self around trying to identify someone in the building
Okay.
that can help you?
Okay.
I think if I was going back to talk to younger me about how to identify that, I think a lot of what I did was identifying the teacher's personality, because I did work with as a middle school student, I was with a lot of white teachers, and there wasn't times where I could be one-on-one with a black teacher, or like they weren't in the building that day. So if it had to be a white person, I went for personality, usually a woman, because a white man can't really relate to a black woman like me, let alone a white woman, but she's a woman. So I identified like the gender, the personality, and were they going to be patient with me? Were they going to identify me as someone that wanted trouble or someone that was really hurt? And so I think too it's kind of sad in a way, but on the middle schooler, on younger me, I had to code switch to appear more hurt and more like softer, so it was like more approachable, more readable to a white adult teacher. And that's really sucky. Like, that's a sucky reality, and that's really hard because I think I still struggle with that, and I don't know how exactly to advise a younger student how to do that if they're, like they have no other resources. That's just real life. But I would say to stick to the personality, like stick to the staff member that's going to recognize you as just a child that needs help.
And so, like, kind of, I'm gonna say, I think I'm gonna say the same thing, but tell me if I'm getting it off. You're saying identify folks that get you.
Yes.
Right. Get folks that like you have a commonality with, and there's this level of understanding, right? Because I think what you're saying is that like when you go to white folks or people of different cultures, you have to over explain it, and that becomes a lot, right? Rather than just being able to name the scenario and then they understand. Is that kind of like, yeah,
Exactly.
I got you. I got one more question for you too. What actions do you take to build trust with these teachers or guidance counselors?
Like younger us or us now?
Reflect. Let's go reflect back to younger self and then what you do now.
Okay. Okay.
You can go first. I'm still thinking about it. Yeah.
Okay. This is kind of funny. I hate this. Younger me, middle school, to build trust with a teacher, like for them to trust me. Oh, that's so fucked up thinking about that. But like the way I used to get like white teachers on my side was being the goody two shoes. So like I was like, I went to Up Academy, them charter school, so everyone had to like sit like this,
Jeez.
clap, clap, stomp, clump, all that like, all that stuff. Oh,
That's
clap,
so
clap,
crazy.
shine. Every time. Yo,
I didn't grow up with that
Bro.
stuff, man.
God bless, bro. I had a hard time, but I was definitely one of those students. Like I was definitely like number one. Like I always got shout outs and stuff, and so I was being smart though. I wasn't doing that because I was me. I was doing that because I needed that teacher at the end of the day, like when I was stuck in a problem. So younger me would build the trust with them first by coming off as the number one student. Because then they're like, she don't really fuck around. So if she's ever having an off day, she's having an off day. Like I have to help her. Duh. So for me to trust them though, that was a different thing. Because I had a lot of white teachers back in the day. Damn, I made myself sound old. I had a lot of teachers a couple of years ago in middle school that like you
Been at a middle
decade.
school.
Hard switch. Yeah, last
years
year middle
removed.
school was tough.
Definitely back in the day now.
Yo, that's scary as fuck. But
Yeah, we're
I
getting
had-
old. We're getting
I
old.
had a couple of teachers that like they heard one thing, reported immediately. So like for me, I had to see how they worked with students that were regularly in trouble. That was my technique. And so I was like, okay, like if I'm in an issue, let's say it's something serious that usually would have to be reported, but I noticed this teacher one day, like it was a lot of slick work is what I'm saying right now. Like I was really an observer. I had to target the teacher that I knew was going to cut some slack and was going to recognize that the student just needed a conversation. They didn't need to be with staff or be reported. They just needed time in the other room. And for me, that's where I got the trust. Like I had to see how you worked with other students, especially Black students that, in cases may not have had more privilege than I do, because I do recognize that I am a light-skinned Black woman in today's society. And so that looks different for a darker-skinned, student, male or female. So I would see how they interact with these students. And then when it came to me, I felt like, okay, like I would be able to talk about only certain topics, but not everything. And then as I got older, reflecting to how I am now, the way I find trust within adults in my life That's a good question. I mean, honestly, I feel like a lot of that just depends on the one-on-one conversations I just have with you regularly. Like, I'm an adult now, so I can talk about whatever the fuck I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one's gonna report me.
Go, Charlie.
So,
Go.
so I feel like I have no worries now. So it's like I feel like a lot of the trust is like, are you weird? Are you cliquey? Are you a groupie? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you a girl's girl? Because if you're not a girl's girl, like, I don't f with you. It's like now it's about personality. And
For sure.
and it's like, can I click with the person? And if I can't click with the person, I can't trust them. So yeah, it's definitely changed. It's like getting older, you realize you have the freedom to really select your character in the world. Like I can be what I want now. So that's definitely a big difference reflecting on it now.
So like just to like see what you're saying, like you're basically saying like instead of trying to fit towards them, you're trying to get people to fit towards you.
Exactly. Okay. I like how you worded that. Yeah.
That's pretty much how, like, I say we're the same person when it comes to that, because like I like to think like that way now instead of trying to meet people's standards and like try to change. I'm not changing who I am for you. If you don't like me, then
I've been doing that for years.
Exactly.
It's just tiring.
Yeah.
like
How do you
literally
feel?
that's another thing everybody has to learn at some point. You're not gonna be friends with everybody in the world. You're just not, because people are just gonna like who they like, and they're just gonna be who they are. They're not gonna like certain stuff. You're not gonna convince them. If you can't convince them, then so be it. Cut that tie.
Fair.
Let them go.
What do you think, Mark?
You're piggybacking off what you said, like, what the question was, maybe like seeing if I could like trust a teacher just off our one-on-one conversations with me and them, and also like you really said everything right, to be honest. Like just seeing like off one-on-one conversations are like how their behavior is like towards me in like a class. Like I remember this one math teacher I have, she was really cool, and I really like her to this day. And like just seeing how she would interact with other students and with me, and how she would treat her students, like she gained like a reputation around the whole like the high school as like one of the coolest teachers, just off like how understanding she was, and like just about like students, because like she's looking at us like as a kid and not like as like a robot, like you need to pass in the work by this time. Like she was really flexible, and like just going to teachers and trusting teachers like that, that's how I gained trust with some of them. So just really like to answer your question, to like just really like seeing how they would speak with me and like act towards me off one-on-one, or just their behavior towards other students or even other teachers, because that can play a factor into it too. So yeah, just the behavior and just off one-on-one conversations.
Yeah, just real quick before we transition to me and Jason, because yeah, I mean, I strongly agree with you too. Like seeing how the teachers like approach you, like is if it's just about math, or is it math and how are you doing today? Is it about math and oh, did you see the game last night? I know you're into basketball. Did you see the game? Like, what'd you think of it? Things like that. Like, like if I do become a counselor or something like that, I want to make it more of a like authentic relationship, not just me doing my job. Like, I want to make sure that obviously I do the job of making sure you're like getting the help you need and making sure that you're mentally good, you're mentally well. But also like to see like things that you like if I see Jason and I'm talking to Jason every day, trying to see how his mental is. And I see that he's coming in every day with a new pair of Jordans on. I'm gonna be like, oh, you seen those? Me being to shoes a little bit myself, I'm like, oh, you seen those new Jordans that are about to drop soon, or what Jordans are about to drop? If I wasn't like informed on it,
Trying to connect.
and it's just like building those tiny relationships, and that really gains the trust of the students. But as quick as you can gain it, it's really easy to lose it too. So it's like making sure that, like I said, the authenticity is still there at the end of the day. That's really what's gonna get the kids to really come to you, or feel more open towards you.
Yeah. How do you lean on family members or community members to help advocate or help you build a better school experience?
The way I did it was, I mean, sometimes like I feel like now that I'm older, I feel like it like the roles are reversed. Like I feel like my mom's less understanding of me like growing up as a man than my dad is. So my mom will have more of like a stricter feeling towards me than my dad would. Yeah, when it came to school, like my dad was really on me about my grades. Like, oh, did you do this? He's checking Power School,
My
which is like
dad's like
the
that.
grade checking
My
app.
dad's like
He's
that.
checking it every day, every day, every day.
He didn't know
every
the
day.
app, but like he would ask me every day, "Hey, what's his grades looking like?" Dang, yeah, A plus.
You know, you go to the
C plus
classic
for sure, but like you don't know.
You go to the classic excuse. Oh, the teachers didn't get to it yet, knowing dang well they did. Oh, they mixed up my name Jalen with Jaden, but they said they'll fix it tomorrow.
Let me borrow your report card real quick.
You check tomorrow.
Have
The
my
grade's
friends
still
signing my
there.
report cards and stuff,
Like,
man. Oh god.
But yeah, I think like, definitely just like talking. Like I said, like I've always had like a very good communicative relationship with my parents. Maybe we haven't seen eye to eye, but we're able
Yeah.
to talk about it. And I feel like obviously now that I'm older, it's more on like a mature, like adult
Mhm.
level. But as a kid, it's more of a like, I mean, for my parents at least, it was more of like an understanding, like,
Mhm.
oh, why wasn't this turned in, Jaden? What did you do for this not to be finished on time? I think it's honestly just about like not keeping everything a secret from your parents at a young age, because then that keeps them guessing and wanting to get more into your life because you're keeping things away from them.
Yeah, for
So I
sure.
feel like the more open you are and the more you
Can't
keep
tell
it
you.
100 with them, like I feel like that's the more like independence you get. Like relating back to Mark when he said the more that he like showed that he was like going out his way to get better grades, from going to a
Putting in effort.
C B minus B student to going to like B plus A plus, things like that. Like that's a great
Yeah, Mark.
example. It's a great example. Like the more that you show you're responsible, even at a young age of fifth grade, sixth grade, like the more you show that you're like actually giving an effort to impress your parents or do it for yourself, the more that they're like, okay, maybe we can let him do this, maybe we can't let him do that. Or just communicating with your parents about what you want to do, what you're going to do, and not just like giving them the things that they want to hear, because
The
everybody
right
can
people.
say, oh, I'm gonna go to study hall from Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from now on, and you're going to it, but it's like you're there half of the time getting half your homework done and you're going home and finishing it. And then you have your parents like, oh, Jaden, I thought you said you were gonna go to study hall. Why isn't your homework done?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, yeah. And then you have to make another excuse or a lie. And it's like, come on, Jaden, you said you're gonna do this, and now here you are again lying. So,
Right.
and that's me talking from personal experience when I was younger. So it's like, yeah, I think the more that I've just been honest and keeping things straight up, I mean, it's definitely helped me a lot. So
Definitely. So I think that like if we've been given younger selves advice, what are two things right now that you feel like you need to help you get to the next level?
next level of what?
So like right now you guys are in college, whether it's transfer, whether it's internships, what is it that you need to help you kind of accomplish your
Make the next jump.
Yeah, your next jump or your next goal?
We're just try to get straight to the point. So like,
And this is a question for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to get straight to the point because I don't know how much we're like running on time here. So like, I guess like just build like have a strong circle around you. Have a great support system. Like talk to the right people. Obviously work hard. You know it's not easy. Some days you're not gonna feel like doing anything, and you know you're gonna have to self motivate yourself because nothing in life is gonna come easy. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to start a business, or like you know you have to pick your niche and all this other kind of stuff, and you really have to find like a problem solver. Like I can get into like all this stuff, but again, just you know do the right things, get on the right path. Write down stuff too, like because you might forget. Like just write some stuff down.
Yeah.
It will really help you because I forget stuff. I recently just started writing stuff down because I feel like I was at a peak in my life, and then honestly, I fell from that peak because I forgot what I was doing at that time, and I would just like kept trying to find it, but it just wasn't coming. And recently, I think I found it. So like, and I've been trying to write it down. So
Yes.
just to make sure like I'm not gonna lose it, and I'm gonna make sure I stay on that path because that path is gonna lead me to a gold mine. So I want to make sure that I stay on that path. So yeah.
What was the question again? Sorry.
What do you need? What's one or two things that you need to help you get to the next step?
I mean, I've been doing it my whole life, just making sure I'm kind to everybody so I have connections. I mean, I don't want to just, when I do transfer, I don't want to just go to college and just be like, I'm in my own zone. Because, like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you might be thinking that, like, I might be a counselor, but I might want to start a counseling business or something. And I could go talk to a guy like Marc and get help on a foundation on how to start a business and then use my counseling skills to then make it a business of counseling. So yeah, I just think at the end of the day, like everything we've been talking about just comes into like just communication, like just how transparent are you, how open are you, how open can you be, how open will you be. And yeah, I think that's just the biggest thing for me, at least. It's just that.
Two things for me, I would say is probably motivation and consistency. Cause it's hard for everybody to be consistent. Like wake up every day and like try to be consistent on all your tasks and even do more.
Yeah.
And so, and even being motivated at that, like I struggle with motivation myself and consistency. So to get to the next level, like I say like being consistent and just trying to be a better you every day. Like try to do more than I did like yesterday. And like today I'm gonna try to be more and do it more than what I did the other day and the days before that. And yeah, just being motivated by outside factors obviously, but motivating yourself and just staying consistent.
At the end of the day, it's your life. No one's gonna do your life for you. So it's like, if you want to drop out of school, go ahead, drop out. No one's gonna stop you. I
That's
mean,
not the message.
No.
I mean,
Stay in school. Stay in school.
Put that, man. Cut that out. Cut.
He meant the opposite.
If you have to motivate yourself somewhat. Like there has to be a spark within you, like to get it done. Like Jason was saying, you might just have came from the gym and just worked out 2 hours today, and it was a real tough leg day.
Yeah.
But you still have to bust out that 5-page paper that's due at 11:59, and it's like, dang, like I'm so sore right now. But it's like you have to stay consistent in the gym, but you also have to stay consistent in your career, what you want to do in your future. So it's like just having not even a balance, but just having the motivation to do this, do that. Like you just have to keep pushing through.
And I just want to speak on something real quick about dropping out, right? I think that the key, it's not about dropping out. It's about not giving up because something's hard and then having nothing, right? So like if you leave school because you realize you want to be an electrician and then you're taking the steps to become an electrician, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Right? However, if you're in school and you're leaving because it's hard and now you leave and now you're going home, sitting on the couch being frustrated and like being like self-deprecating, like that's what we don't want,
that's
right?
what I was talking about.
Yeah. Just want to clarify that.
He didn't want to put that.
Always
Don't
have-
drop out. Don't drop out.
Transition.
I think just always my dad always says to me, always have a purpose or always have a backup. Like say like I do YouTube and I blow up or something. Like that could all come crashing down one day. YouTube's not promised forever.
Plan B.
Yeah.
So it's just like always make sure that whatever you do, it's like you you have something there to back you up. Maybe I'm working a part-time job now, but maybe I want to do Uber on the side just so I have extra money that I could spend on myself, and I can save the money that I'm doing for my part-time job for my tuition or something I want to do in the future, things like that. So, yeah.
I feel like a lot of this really resonated with me because I feel like I'm dead ass going through that right now. Like, I need that advice. It's kind of emotional. I really don't know what I'm doing in my life.
It's hard.
Like,
Trust me, it's hard.
Nah,
Like,
it is
there's
hard,
been
no
moments
way.
where I've been on the cusp of like, why am I doing this? But it's just, here I am now. Like, one more year to go.
Yeah.
And there it is. Like, it's just been moments. I've cried. Like, I've cried. I've like cried like when I had like gotten like straight A's and all this stuff. Like, I've been like down and just been like, oh, this is so stressful. Like, I feel like we've all been there, you know.
I think it's also about like just faith, like faith in God, faith in yourself, faith in your
A lot of faith in
family,
God. I think him every day.
faith in your family, whatever faith in your spirituality, whatever you can believe in yourself for, like just get it through God, get it through you, get it through you, get it through you guys, like get it through your family, get it through the faith of you wanting to be a better older brother, better role model for your younger siblings. Whatever you can find the motivation or belief to do it for, just do it for that reason.
So I mean, like here's my advice to you guys. I'm 39, and I remember graduating college, or being in college, and feeling like I had to have it figured out. You don't. You don't need to have it figured out because every step of the way, there's going to be twists and turns that make it hard. There's nothing that makes life easier. It's all about the experience and being able to enjoy it. So I guess I'm saying this because don't beat yourself up because you don't know what direction you want to go. Like, take the moment and sit with it. Be okay with being uncomfortable and be okay with not having a direction, right? Because you're doing the right things. You're in college. You have a job, right? You're building your network. Those are the things that you need to do. But you're also 20?
2021.
21, right?
Yeah, we got a 19
Here we go. Here we go.
baby.
Here we go with the old
19,
jokes.
19. Right? But like, you guys are young. So explore, right? Like, try to do as much as you can, but don't put that pressure on yourself, right? Like, it's an unneeded pressure that fulfills society's need, and also like it's for your own ego. But at the end of the day, like, it's okay, right? You're 19 to 21, right? Like, it doesn't have to be figured out as long as you're taking steps and taking actions, moving in the right direction, right? And like, I think you said, keep your receipts, right?
Yeah.
Keep your receipts and remember the small successes, the things that you're overcoming, and don't forget what you have already overcome, right? Or overcame?
Yeah,
Yeah,
overcame.
right? Because that's what you're going to lean on. And you just don't know what you don't know. And that's okay. That's the beauty of being young. And so just give yourself grace and don't beat yourself up over not feeling like you know exactly what you want next. It's perfectly okay.
I really appreciate that advice. That was really beautiful. So I feel like,
Motivated her.
yeah, that was actually so nice because it sucks to feel like I know what I want to do, and then when I'm in the real world, it's like no one's doing what I want to do, or like people are shitting on what I want to do, and it's like, damn, like things just feel good when no one's in your ear talking shit about it, and it's like your advice just reminded me like to stay focused on myself, like. Don't
about what others think.
Yeah, like don't get caught up in someone else's opinion about like your aspirations or your hobbies, and because just like you said, like it's you going through it, you know, and like it's okay if I don't know. Like I'm breezing through. I'm still young, 20.
Trust me,
You
I
know,
mean,
like-
at my, I'm sorry to cut you off, but trust me,
No
like at
issue.
my job, like I'd wear my Curry College T-shirt, and I just so like people wouldn't look at me like, oh, this black kid, he's probably doing nothing with his life. Like, but if they see the T-shirt, they're like, oh, he's actually in college.
Yeah. I mean, I like just to reflect real quick. When I was in college, I changed my major 4 times. I went from a marketing major to an accounting major to a communications major to oh my gosh, what's the other one?
Sports management.
Not sports management, but it was like physical therapy, whatever that is, right? And I went back to
PT.
communication. And the key that helped me make a decision, one was meeting a lot of people in the field, and then 2, getting a ton of internships to understand what experiences felt right. So use this time in this moment of ambiguity to think through or create experiences that help you think through it, right? So like if you want to be, I'm making this up, I don't know. If you want to be a therapist, go to the alumni office and see how many people can I talk to that are therapists, right? Like take small actions like that, because you just have to take action. But it's okay to be wherever you are, right?
You definitely don't want to be stuck like in some place you don't want to be in for sure. Like you want to do something that you love doing. And I know what I want to do, and I know how to. I have a pretty good idea on how to get there, but we'll see.
Mark, what about you, man?
Mom, Mark.
What was the question again? I was like kind of
One or 2 things you need to help you get to the next step or hit your next goal.
Oh, hit the next goal. Probably just kind of what I said before, staying consistent and just really like reaching out and actually like trying to like just reaching out to people and like just trying to like put myself out there so I can actually like go and get like a new job, or like if I want to take certain classes, just like talk to the right people and see who can help me, and just reaching out to people, really making more connections within like just anything like jobs and school. So yeah, I would say that would be it.
Cool. No, I thank you guys for being vulnerable, sharing your stories, talking to us. It's going to be powerful as we share this with our middle school students, to hear that other people that are young and older are going through some of the same or have some of the same challenges. So thank you guys so much for.
Of course.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us as well. I can't wait to see this too.
Yeah. No, of course. And the more we do, obviously, keep in touch. Please stay involved with the Coaching for Change Network.
Yeah.
We need more people like you involved with being mentors and role models for the next generation. If you want to learn more about Coaching for Change or get involved, you can visit our website at www.c4cinc.org and reach out. We're always looking for more people who can add to the movement, lift up the mentors who need some support, become a mentor to pass on to the next generation, whatever it is that you have to give. We probably have a need for it. So get involved. Thanks again.
You're gonna be great.
This podcast is presented by Coaching for Change, empowering college students to ignite change in the next generation. A special thank you to our inspirational podcast participants for sharing their stories with all of us. To the amazingly talented Trey Mutava and Mutava Music for the soundtrack of this podcast, to the Fall River Public Schools for donating the space, to Rowan Edwards for filming and editing this podcast, and of course, to you, our listeners. To get involved with Coaching for Change or make a donation to the nonprofit, please visit www.c4cinc.org or find us on social media at Coaching for Change.